tribe is mainly concentrated in the southern part of Malawi. One other tribe which is neighboring to us. They have a strong agricultural tradition and are known for their farming skills. The Lomwe language is spoken by the Lomwe people and is closely related to the Chichewa. Lomwe tribes host a cultural festival each year known as Nlako or Lomwe. At this festival, they showcase their herbs, dances, and remind themselves about their tribes. So this is like one large communal gathering. As you can see, these are some of the traditions related to the Lomwe tribe. The dances, I think these were taken recently at the gathering I was talking about. But yeah, very colorful, active. Let's have a small look at some of the cultural values of the Lomwe tribes. The Lomwe are well known for their talkativeness and their belief in the spirits of the dead and witchcraft. For this reason, many people believe that uh, African doctors from Mulanje are the best traditional doctors. Famous Mount Mulanje is also believed to be associated with the spirits of the dead, especially at Sapitwa, which is the highest peak of Mount Mulanje, which we'll discuss in the later slides as well. Sapitwa means the place you can't go, or Sapitas, which is also a small dialect from Chichewa. In the past, the Lomwe women wore distinctive scars on their cheeks, but that custom is disappearing as we modernize. In traditional Lomwe dances, women wear only beads and nothing to cover their breasts. Now, the Ngoni tribe. The Ngoni tribe is famous across the southern African region, I'm sure. Having migrated from the southern South Africa, you see them across many countries. If I'm not wrong, Zambia had presented them yesterday as well. So the Ngoni tribe migrated to Malawi in the 19th century and settled in the central and southern regions. They have a strong warrior tradition and value bravery and courage. The Ngoni language, known as Chingoni, is spoken by the Ngoni people. The Ngoma are famous for their Goma is the plural, I guess, for their traditional dance, which is the Ingoma, which is on show here. As you can see, they are usually dressed in this sense, and you can see them carrying shields as well. Here's a few more looks at the Ingoma dance. There's the female counterparts, and you can see some of them carrying the shields, as I mentioned earlier. Let's take a look at some of the cultural values of the Ngoni tribes. The Ngoni were mainly engaged in agriculture, but have had a history of raiding and expeditions mainly for cattle. Eating meat and drinking African beer are considered to be the most important principles of the Ngoni people. In their traditional dances, the Ngoni wear the skins of animals to show that they are real hunters. You can also see that some of the shields were covered with the skin of animal, once again to show their hunter instincts as a tribe and their entire cultural values. Ngoni symbols like the shield, spear, leopard and lion pelts, and royal praise songs were co-opted to support a changing national context here in Malawi. Because we try to have a secular kind of approach where all tribes work together for the betterment of the communities themselves and the nation. The Nkwala ceremony is celebrated by the Ngoni people who are found in the eastern province of Zambia as well. Yes, if I'm not wrong, that was mentioned yesterday. In the Chipata district, the Nkwala is a Thanksgiving ceremony held every year at the Tenguleni village. This ceremony gives thanks for the first harvest of the season, one of the other attributes to their agricultural heritage. The Sena tribe. The Sena people are primarily agriculturists and fishermen. The Sena tribe is found at the southern tip of Malawi along the Shire River in Sanje and Chikwawa, some of the hottest regions in Malawi. The Sena language is spoken by the people of the Sena tribe as well, as I mentioned. They perform a traditional dance known as the Wimbuza when faced with calamities. Chikwawa and Sanje are some of the worstly affected flood districts in Malawi, and every time these calamities are faced, they do perform the Wimbuza in prayers for survival. Their cultural practices include the Fisi, Chokolo, and Kuloa Kufa mostly, which is practice to involve in sexual cleansing. They speak the Sena language, which is also called Chisena or Sisena, which is part of the Bantu language family. The Bantu family are known to be the first to have arrived in Malawi back then, Bantus. The Sena language has many dialects, as you can see, Chisena, Sena, and just Sena. Yeah, some of the people in the Sena tribes. As you can see, there's a cross-culture proposition of the Gulewamkulu looking figure present in the first picture. They hold extreme respect for the elders and tribal chiefs, as you can see in the middle picture, and that's one of the hairdressers they've adopted in their prior historical culture. A look at some of the cultural values of Sena include the practicing of which a woman marries another man or brother of the deceased husband in Kuloa Kufa. These are practiced in a traditional fencing ceremony. Some of them still believe in the ancestral spirits, which they call a god called Mbona. The Sena culture is one of the most vibrant in Malawi, as you can see. They are also very skilled musicians and well educated. Now, the slide which I guess many of you might be waiting for. Let's take a look at food in Malawi. So, the staple food of Malawi, as you can see, is nsima. It's a thick porridge made out of maize flour and water. Typically, nsima is eaten with vegetables and a protein, which could be fish, beans, or meat. It can be torn apart by hands and used to dip into the side dishes or relishes, as well as the curry. Being a vegetarian myself, I usually like to go with the beans. And we also have other options like terere, which is, if I'm not wrong, ladyfingers. Terere. One of the most esteemed culinary gifts Malawi has given to the world is the chambo fish. The chambo is a fish from the Lake Malawi. It is a tilapia fish and is considered a delicacy. Other favorite fishes include usipa, which is sima is a staple food of Malawi, as I mentioned earlier, and is usually served with the chambo fish. One more LBL mention coming in here would be the usipa. The usipa, as you can see, similar to sardines, is featured in the slide. And the fishermen along the lake shore where I was living had set up rails of the caught usipa for drying to be sold later in the markets. This is the mpasa fish, as you can see here, and the usipa, as I had mentioned earlier. Tambo fish in their natural habitat is right there. For the fish lovers, as you can see, the jumbo fish right up there cooked is one of the gifts, as I had mentioned. Looks quite appetizing to those who are into the non-vegetarian diet. One of the street dishes is the ntobwa, which was also mentioned yesterday in Zambia. As you can see, it is a fermented drink that has a milky appearance, a cereal taste, and a grainy texture. It is made from white maize and millet or sorghum, and it is popular across all parts of Malawi. Another side dish, or you could say a street dish that isn't mentioned here, includes the mandasi. It is kind of a donut, if you would like to say, but it is round in shape. And we also have roasted sweet potatoes being one of the most widely preferred street dishes. We also have chiwayas across Malawi. A chiwaya is a place basically where there's a live grill, would say, a grill and a frying pan for the famous chips, chicken, and fish. The chibuku, as you can see here, is the national beer of Malawi. Coming to one of our biggest GDP contributors, our tourism industry. Before we get to the actual contents of the slide, like the information, I just wanted to point out some of the images here. So the four you see as a quadrant kind of a square were taken by me when we visited LBL. LBL, as I had mentioned earlier, was learning by living, and we got the opportunity to live lakeshore. This is the beautiful waters of Cape Maclear in Malawi, one of the secluded yet widely famous popular tourist destinations of Malawi. We are glad to let you guys know that Cape Maclear is host to the Lake Malawi National Park, which is home to the various types of fish species and hosts underwater activities such as scuba diving. And it also gives you the opportunity to do the banana boat rides, or as you can see, just canoeing and kayaking. Kayaking was something I enjoyed doing during our LBL days with some friends. We had a great time, like around half an hour around the crystal clear waters of Cape Maclear. Coming to the information now, Lake Malawi. Lake Malawi is the largest tourist attraction in Malawi, as I've mentioned. It is the fifth largest freshwater lake in the world by volume, that is, and the ninth largest lake in the world by area. It would also be of your interest to know that it's the third largest and second deepest lake in Africa. The best time to visit Malawi, go to the lake, as you say, is during the dry season between May and October. It should be winters right now. I'm not sure how cold it is in our neighboring nations, but it isn't yet the chilling winters we know of June, July, August in Malawi. Yeah. So you're still not late, I would say. You could give a visit to Lake Malawi right now. So it is cooler in this time of the year, as I said, in May and between May and October. So you'd get to embrace the bright sunshine, the lush green landscapes, the fresh evenings, and boy oh boy, as you can see, some beautiful sunsets and sunrises as well. If you'd like to go to some of the mountain there, you could visit some excellent sunrise opportunities. Temperatures can lie anywhere between 18 degrees, which should be what it is right now. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and it's warm, and 33 degrees Celsius, which I believe is a little underestimated since over the last few years that number has risen drastically related to global warming, most likely. Now, some of the attractions we have here are the national parks. And guys, when I tell you that our national parks are exhilarating, you get to see the elephants, the lions, the buffaloes, rhinos, leopards, and the cheetahs, the big five of Africa. You get to see them right here in Malawi at some of our famous wildlife reserves and national parks like the Liwonde National Park and the Majete Game Reserves. Malawi is home to 10 national parks, as you can see, and the elephant picture you see there is also taken by me. Now, this was wide angle to get the picture of all the elephants, but you get really close up with animals. It's rarely that you see that you can go so close to wild factors, I should say, not only for Malawi, but I'm sure. So, as you can see, it is an exciting proposition for visitors to Malawi, as the protected areas in these national parks give you the opportunity to see all the great wildlife at a very nominal cost. So it holds appeal to locals here in Malawi as well as our neighbors across Africa and other nations in the world. Another picture taken by me here, that is Zomba Plateau. More on it in a while. So natural forests represent the remainder of the Miombo forest, which once covered almost the entire country. I think it was two-thirds of the country long ago were covered by the Miombo forest. Forest reserves are managed by the Forestry Department, which covers an estimated 0.87 million hectares, which comprises 17% of the forest cover in Malawi. There are a lot of, I should say, a lot of forest reserves scattered across the country. As you can see, that number is 82 here, but I'm pretty sure that number is older and keeps growing as forests grow due to the consistent plantations, and drives to get back the shed, I should say. Since we're doing a lot of deforestation, we're also going to make up for it as many corporate organizations take responsibility for that. Before I go to the next point, you can see tea plantations here. That tea plantations are seen here in Mulanje. Mulanje and its neighboring districts of Cholo are home to some of the finest tea and coffee plantations that Malawi has to offer, and not only Malawi, maybe Africa. So many tourists enjoy hiking Mulanje Mountain. Mulanje Mountain is One hike, I guess you guys, as an African audience, must try once in your life. It's one of the tallest mountains in Africa, as I mentioned. If I'm not wrong, the third tallest peak is Sapitwa, which is 3,001 meters point and Central Africa's highest. If you can't reach Sapitwa, I'm sure there's other peaks for you which measure up to 2,500 meters. And that is the Chambe Peak, if I'm not wrong. The Chambe Peak, as well as I just mentioned, is the west face of the longest rock climb in Africa. So as you can see, not just hiking, you can also do rock climbing. There's a lot Mulanje offers in terms of a tourist proposition. As I had mentioned before, Zomba Plateau is one of the closest tourist destinations to Blantyre. So if you are to be hosted here, I'm pretty sure as Skopi here, we will take you to Zomba Plateau. Zomba Plateau offers one of Malawi's finest hikes, with the highest peak being 1,800 meters. So not as tall as Mulanje, but one that won't tire you enough so that you can enjoy the excellent views as you can see. This is not one of the views I'm about to mention that is in the picture. That's still at ground level, but the wonderful images of the surrounding mountainry, lush green landscapes, and what used to be gum trees, which no longer exist now due to deforestation. Zomba Plateau is an excellent option for waterfalls as well. We have Williams Falls, we have the Mulunguzi Falls, it's unfortunate that I don't have images for those right now on hand, but if you can, as I speak right now, just Google the Mulunguzi Dam, and if you can just share it on maybe the FAMSA scope group so that you can see the wonderful kind of let's say sort of half and half board bodies of Malawi, yet they've managed to turn that into a tourist attraction. You see, we're making the most of what we get here in Malawi. So, as I mentioned, we do have majestic viewpoints like the Emperor's View and the Queen's View. The Emperor's View, if I'm not wrong, is above the Queen's View, but again, I may be wrong. And they do offer excellent, I'm using excellent a lot, but that is what Zomba is. They give you views like panoramic views, 180 degrees. You're just going to fall in love once you make it to Zomba. Trust me. Now, let's take a look at our health system. As you can see here, that's Queen Elizabeth Hospital. That's the central hospital for the Blantyre and southern region, I could say. My university, which is Kamuzu University of Health Sciences, KUHES, does collaborate with Queen Elizabeth Hospital for clinical rotations and much research work. The health system in Malawi is a host to a mix of public and private healthcare facilities. Most of Malawi's public health sector is managed at district levels by district health commissioners and district health officers. They offer health centers, dispensaries, and hospitals, but that depends on which district you are. But most likely, you're likely to receive primary, secondary, tertiary, secondary levels of healthcare. But some places like Blantyre offer a tertiary level in the sense of Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital. Healthcare in this sector is provided for free healthcare once more, or it can be at a nominal fee, depending on the service you're going for. But once again, that's something we should pride as Malawi that we do offer free, almost cheap, very cheap healthcare. The public system faces issues though, there's an inadequate workforce, weak infrastructure, and limited resource availability. The most usual case we face is a limited resource availability in the sense that there are a lot of diseases which we should be treating here, but as soon as we do get sufficient resources to treat, let's say, drugs, be it drugs, machinery, etc., it's either not well maintained after a few years or the drugs run out as quick as they arrive. The private healthcare sector, on the other hand, is small, but it is a very quickly growing industry. It mainly caters to the urban populations, which are populations in Blantyre, Lilongwe, and Zuzu, for example, and those who can afford to pay for healthcare. We do have health insurance companies present here in Malawi, so that does help with the boredom, but it's not just for profit. If you would expect the private healthcare sector to do that, no. It includes profit and non-profitable hospitals, with the non-profitable ones being faith-based organizations or those aided by foreign NGOs such as uh, World Vision, be Doctors Without Borders, and there are lots of camps throughout the country hosted by WHO. However, this cost is not still affordable to all Malawians despite there being access to health insurance, which once again is not affordable to all Malawians. So I guess we are coming to an end to Malawi's presentation with the conclusion. Malawi is known fondly as the warm heart of Africa, and our culture, people, and tradition promise to deliver nothing less than that, as I had showed to you guys today. We invite you, as standing committee of professional exchange, to visit Malawi and explore our health system with our added background to our culture, which you learned today, which will help you guys treat your patients well, know them better here in Malawi. And even since, as I say, there's a lot of tribes which are settled in neighboring countries, you'll get to learn more and give us the opportunity, look forward and say, Chakula Andiram, which translates to, we welcome you. Thank you, everyone. It's been an honor, a pleasure to be hosting Team Malawi today. Looking forward to a great evening from Mozambique.
Thank you all for the amazing presentation. And as they say in Chichewa, Ziko Mukwambili. It's as a fellow Malawian, I think it was amazing to see all those things you shared about Malawi. And it's interesting to see how there's so many similarities between Malawi and Zambia, and also some similarities I saw with Botswana as well, with some of the tourist attractions like the national parks and all of that. So ladies and gentlemen, I think the chat section is now open for questions. You can text the questions and then I'll read them and can answer. So you can start sending in the questions now. I think as we are waiting for the questions, Wendy, you can give comments or anything you'd like to say concerning the presentation.
Yeah, really, really amazing presentation. We enjoyed every the different cultures and the different practices. Maybe just one question: are they still like actively done? Can you do all those dances, and like, is it active or just cultures that are preserved but not really practiced anymore?
Oh yeah, in the community regions, like we'd say the villages and all, it's still active, I think, if I'm not wrong. Even the urban, let's say, reference to these activities, usually in like a fair or be it in just a wedding or something, you do see these Pule Kulus and Vumbeza dance, everything. You see these across Malawi. It is declining if you like to use that word, but I still believe we are very culturally rich and we are doing great efforts to conserve that. If you come to Malawi, I don't think you'll miss the opportunity to go through the Gule Kulu dances. They are very active, at least whenever we go to the villages in Ngochi for, let's say, a vacation at the lakeshore areas. They're active to my knowledge.
Oh, wow, well, that's beautiful that you still manage to conserve all of your culture. And yeah, the tourist attractions are also really beautiful. I think we were all, again, booking flights in the comment section. So yeah, Malawi is definitely a good destination to go to for those considering going there for their exchanges or just experiencing the culture or visiting. I think you've gotten a nice overview of what the country and the people are all about. So thank you so much, for that amazing presentation.
It's been a pleasure.
Sorry, I'll start with the questions I have. One, are there any exchange programs at the I still call it College of Medicine. I've forgotten the name, but are there exchange
Yeah,
programs available?
yeah, we have started an exchange program this year. Scope had been inactive for a year or two, so we are officially underway with exchange programs here in Malawi. We are in contacts. I believe the executive board is in contacts with some NMOs, and not to our notice as national offices yet. But yes, we will be hosting exchanges this year. We are open to exchanges. If we have any NMOs who are interested in discussing those, feel free to find us, be it our Instagram page, etc. You can find me in the context. I'm quite active in the FAMSA Scopy group.
Okay. So next question we have, please, what peculiarities does the Malawi flag represent?
Okay, so we have three colors as you saw, the black, red, and green colors. The sun is a kind of an outgrowth of, if you'd say, the red color. So I'll start with the meanings of the colors. The black color stands for the people of Africa and Malawi. The red stands for the blood of our freedom fighters and martyrs. And the green stands for the vegetation. As I said, we do have a large forest reserve, and etc. We are quite proud of our lush greenery. The sun is used to like symbolize like a hope, basically. Like there will be hope at the end of the day. There will be a sun rising of hope at the end of the day. That's what I believe that is the meaning of the Malawian flag.
Okay, great. So next question is, what other prominent structures aside the River Malawi, I believe that's Lake Malawi, and forest and wildlife reserves stands Malawi out? What makes Malawi stand out besides all of that you mentioned, I think?
That's uh that's a good question, I guess. Uh, he forgot to mention the mountain ranges we have here. That could be one of the additional things. But we do have very small yet growing urban tourism aspect in the same sense of hotels, be it just for trade. Malawi is developing those sectors as well. Other prominent structures, I'm not sure if he means anything like what else what else could we get from him? We do have some zoos, I guess, in Lilongwe, if I'm not wrong. I think Lilongwe, our capital city, does have zoos. We have old architecture, if you like to say that. Yeah, we do have quite a lot of historical architecture. That could be cathedrals. Here we have Olympic Cathedral here. That's one of the oldest. We have a fort, if I'm not wrong, somewhere in southern region. I'll get back. I promise to get back on that in the group this year. Not this year as well, this day itself. I'll get back to you. I have the reference somewhere in my house, so I'll find that. But yeah, we are mostly an ecologically driven tourism industry here in Malawi.
Okay, I think that answers the question. I don't, oh, okay. What, there's one more question. What is the best time to visit Malawi?
Malawi, to visit Malawi, the best time would probably be in the summers. I believe that would be like between uh, September to maybe December or January. Those would be great times to visit Malawi, especially since if you're coming to Malawi, you can't miss out on going to Lake Malawi. That's a must here in Malawi. So summers with the lakeshore, swimming pools, mocktail, it's a nice vibe, guys. Trust me, you should visit us that time. But it's not late to visit right now as well, because unfortunately we haven't been having strong winters yet. Like the single degrees, like a single digit degrees Celsius, those are missing this year. It's not late to visit Malawi right now as well.
Okay, I think that wraps up the Malawi session presentation. And that, once again, that was amazing. Next up, we're going to have Teresa from Mozambique. I hope you're ready, Teresa.
Hello, yes, I'm ready. Uh, give me please some minutes so I can upload this slide.
All right. And as she uploads the slide, a round of applause for for the amazing presentation. So you can all use your reactions.
I don't know if you guys can see it. Can you
Yeah,
see
we
this?
can.
Yes.
Yes, we
Okay.
can see.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Teresa Simbic, and I am the National Officer for Mozambique. In the next minutes, I'll be taking you guys on a ride to Mozambique without you leave the comfort of your homes. Without further ado, let's get started. Mozambique is a country located in the Southern Africa region with 33 million people, mostly young people, and our total land area is about 86,308 square kilometers, and we are bound by Tanzania to the north and by our Mozambican channel to the east, by the south. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. By South Africa and Swaziland, also called Eswatini, to the south, and to the west by Zimbabwe, and to the north by Zambia and Malawi. Mozambique, you can see our flag on the right. We have 5 colors on our flag, and this flag was adopted on May 1st, 1083. And the 5 colors are black, white, red, yellow, and what I think I've said right, and red. The black stands for our people, our color, and our continent. The white stands for the rightness of the struggle of our people, Mozambican people, and also stands out for peace. The green stands out for the riches of their soul, because Mozambique has a very fertile soul. The red represents secular resistance to the colonialism and the armed struggles for national liberation. And the golden yellow represents the riches of the subsoil, because we have a lot of minerals here. You can also see on our flag a hoe and book, and also a gun. Starting with the gun. The gun is a AK-47 that symbolizes, once again, the armed struggle and the defense of the country. The book represents the importance of education for a better country, and the hoe represents the agriculture that plays a really big role in the Mozambican economy. Here we have a lot of ethnic groups such as Makua, Tonga, Sena, Ndau, Chopi, Nyau, Makonde, Mashangana, and Chewa also. And they are really different, but our difference make us more special. Talking about the languages, our official language is Portuguese, not English. And the Portuguese is only spoken by a tiny fraction of the population. And that population is concentrated mostly in the urban cities and in the Mozambique capital called Maputo. On religion, dominantly,
Teresa,
hello?
sorry to stop you. Are the slides moving? I don't know if it's from my end. It's still
No, no,
on
no, no. It's
population.
not moving. It's not
All
moving.
right. All right.
Yes, it's not moving. The dominant religion is Christianity, but there's Muslims, Buddhists, and we all live peacefully. Now, I'll take you guys on, oh, I forgot to mention, we have 11 provinces: Niassa, Cabo Delgado, Nampula, Zambezia, Tete, Sofala, Gaza, and Inhambane, Maputo City, and Maputo Province. So Maputo is divided into 2 provinces. We have 128 districts and 33 municipalities. So now I'll be showing you some interesting things you can find in each province, starting with Niassa. Niassa is the coldest province we have in Mozambique. You can find temperatures around 5, 4, depending on the day and the season. And even though it's really cold, you will be amazed to eat its delicious strawberries. So they produce a lot of strawberries, and they also have a Reserva Especial de Niassa that's really, really beautiful to visit. Talking about Cabo Delgado, also in English called Cape Delgado. Cape Delgado is home to the Maconde ethnic group that are known for being very strong people with unique culture and natural talents for wood and ivory carving. And Maconde is one of the few ethnic groups that still practice their ancestral customs, such as ritual tattooing and teeth peeling. And also in Cabo Delgado, you can find a really, really beautiful island called Quirimbas Island that you can guys visit. You can see from the image, it's really beautiful. Unfortunately, in 2007, Cape Delgado was, uh, Cape Delgado faced a really tough moment because there was insurgents there. Terrorists attacked this province, but things are getting better now, and we don't hear a lot of attacks now. Taking you guys now to Nampula, you guys need to visit the Mozambique Island. It's called that way, and it's located in Nampula. It's one of it is one of the first places that the Portuguese, the colonizers, went and stayed there for a long time. So when you walk there, you will feel like you're walking the streets of Lisbon in the 80s. And it's really, really beautiful. When you were there, don't forget to ask for breakfast, bread and bajia. Bajia is a pastel made with beans. Some people like to add chili, some not, but either way is really delicious. And also you can ask for lunch, fried papaya, chima, and tomato sauce. Here in Mozambique, chima can be made with maize or with cassava. But when we make it with cassava, we call it with a different name. We call it murada, and it's mostly eaten murada in Zambezia. When you eat this for lunch, fried papaya and shima, once you visit there, it will bring you nostalgia when you decide to live. Now taking you to Tetu. Teddy is quite the opposite in terms of the weather to Niassa, because it's the hottest province in the country, and it is home to the giant Kaurabasa Dam on the Zambezi River. That is one of the biggest dams in Africa and in the world. Also, in Tete, you can find the Nyao ethnic that they still dance also, the Nyao dance, and it is considered UNESCO World Heritage Patrimony. Now taking you to Manica. You really need to visit Manica. After Niassa, Manica is the second province that has really low temperatures. It's really cold, but because they have a lot of mountains there. Manica is home to rock painting of Chinyamapere, the conservation areas of Chimanimani, the Pialonga Mountains alongside the Zimbabwean border. About 5 kilometers from Shimoyu, Shimoyu is the capital of Manica, you will find Cabeça do Velho. And it is called Cabeça do Velho, the old man's head, because it is a natural stone formation resembling an old man's face. So it's really beautiful to see. I've never been there, but I would like to see in person one day. Also, they have really nice food that you can try when you were there. Taking you now to Zambezia and Sofala. Zambezia is really fertile. They produce rice, coffee in a large scale, and they also have a really beautiful beach called Zalala Beach. In Sofala, you will be amazed. If you like safari, you will like to visit Gorongosa National Park. And it's a really big park and with a lot of animals that you would love to visit. Also in Zambezia, they have a lot of shellfish. So if you like seafood, you maybe would like to visit Zambezia. Now taking you to Gaza and Inyambane. These two provinces are also referred to little paradises. Why? Because they have wonderful beaches. Almost everyone in December likes to visit Gaza or Inyambane. In Inyambane, we have the Tofu Beach, we have the Bazarutu Park. You can also visit Vilanculos. It's really, really beautiful. You can see from the images, it's really beautiful. And in Gaza, there's, I think, 6 beaches only in one province that you can visit. But the one that people really love is Bilenis Beach, that has crystal clear waters. So you guys, I believe you guys would love to visit. We have another beaches such as the Shai Beach, Shidengele. The second photo, it's on Shidengele's beach. And also, when you were there, you can eat seafood that can be served in different ways. And you can also, I don't have the image here, but you can also try Shiguinha de Cacana. It's called that way, Shiguinha de Cacana. Shiguinha de Cacana is made with cassava and cacana. But funny fact, in the north and center part of the country, they don't eat cacana because it is considered, I don't know how to call it in English, a remedy. I don't know how to say it properly. But in the south, they eat the same plant and they like it. And now taking you guys to the Mozambique's capital, that is Maputo. In Maputo, there's a lot of things, a lot of things. The highest buildings are here, and the highest build we have here is located in the, it has 33 floors. I don't know how to say it properly, but yes, it is the highest building. And you can also see here this bridge. This bridge is called Maputo Katembi Bridge. And it is the longest suspension bridge in Africa, in all Africa. And if you like waterfall, you can go to Namahasha, that has really beautiful waterfall that you can see. Here, this dish, you can, I don't know if you can spell, I believe you can. It's called matapa, and it's really delicious. Here we eat a lot of vegetables and seafood. Now, talking about the healthcare system. The healthcare system is divided also. We have private facilities and we have public facilities. The public facilities are basic and very limited. And the public facilities are very basic and limited, while the private has a little bit more resources. And the health system has adopted various policies over the years in accordance with the fluctuation in the health state of the population. And here also, in the public healthcare, it is free. You don't need to pay anything to access. And we have 3 major hospitals in the whole country. We have one located in the north called Nampula Hospital Center, one in the center called Beira Hospital Center, and one in the north called Maputo Hospital Center. And these are level 4 hospitals, but we have other hospitals, level 3, 2, 1, and 0, located almost in every country, in every province, I mean. But even though we have a good coverage of the healthcare system, most people still go to the traditional medicine to solve their problems, since in the rural areas we don't have a lot of hospitals there, or they have to walk a long distance to get to the hospital, so they use traditional medicine mostly. So despite this constraints, Mozambique has been able to improve some of its core health indicators, such as the infant mortality rate that is slowly decreasing. But unfortunately, the maternal mortality rate still very high in Mozambique. That is really bad. And in Mozambique, we have 6 medical schools, 3 private and 3 publics. The publics are located one in the south, one in the center, and one in the north. And they are in the south, the Eduardo Mondlane University, and in the north, the Luriu University, and in the center, the Zambes University. And the private are two in the center and one in the south. In the center, you can find the Catholic University of Mozambique. You can find the Higher Institute of Science and Technology, Alberto Chipande, in the center. And in the south, you can find the Higher Institute of Science and Technology of Mozambique, located in the south, Maputo, precisely. So thank you for your attention, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Everyone, a round of applause for her in the chat comments. And also, that was an amazing presentation, and Mozambique is very beautiful. I've learned a lot about the food, about the places. I never knew there were such beautiful places. So everyone, you can text your questions under the comment section, the chat section for Teresa. And as people are typing, Wendy, you can comment on the presentation. Is Wendy here?
Yes, I am. Sorry. Thank you so much, Teresa, for the amazing presentation. Your country is so beautiful, and you had me with those, water bodies at each corner of the country. So as someone who loves the beach, it's really pretty. And you also have amazing culture and food and development. I was 2 years old when I learned that you have the longest suspension bridge. So that's really cool. Maybe you can also touch on any exchange opportunities that you know of. I think a similar question was posed to and it will be nice if you answer that. But thank you so much for the presentation. And in Portuguese, obrigado.
Thank you very much. Your Portuguese is amazing. Let me tell you that. In Mozambique, it used to have we used to have a lot of exchanges, but now I haven't heard about many. Here, ISEC is really active, but I've never heard that they did exchanges to other countries. I've never heard about that. But yeah, with FAMSA, I believe we can be able to make more exchanges. But in the past, it was really active, and medical students used to make a lot of exchanges.
Okay, so there's another
All
question. What's the language you use for learning in school?
Portuguese.
In Portuguese, okay. Is that how many official languages are there?
We only have one, that is Portuguese. And if you want to learn English, you have to go to a proper school that teaches English. For instance, Institute of Languages, you can learn that there to speak English and other languages, but there's only one official language.
Okay. So another question, still on the languages. Someone was asking, I was wondering about the languages. You mentioned Portuguese being the main language, but is it only spoken in Maputo?
Mostly, yes, because as the official language, you have to go to school to learn it. But we also have our mother language, which such as Chichopi, Bitonga, Chishangane. That are the languages that most people speak, but people that are educated mostly speak Portuguese, and in the urban areas, mostly as spoke is spoken Portuguese, but in the rural area, it's really rare to find people speaking Portuguese, meaning you have to learn the mother tongue of that region that you'll be working.
Okay. I have one more question concerning the languages. What other language do you speak? Like another native language besides Portuguese and English?
Yes. English is not our
I meant
language.
you personally. I meant
Oh,
you.
okay. Personally,
Yeah.
I can speak English, I can speak Portuguese, I can speak Xixangane, and a little bit of Shichobi. Not really a little bit, just a little bit. And I understand very well Spanish.
Nice. That's nice. Okay. Um, I think that's all with the question. Okay, one more question. Having in mind Mozambique is surrounded with so many beaches, is it safe to drink tap water?
Nice question. I'm not really sure, but I think no, it's not that safe.
So you don't drink tap water? Teresa?
Sorry. And we
Oh, you
do.
actually you do. Okay, okay.
Yeah, we do drink.
All right. Are there any more questions before I close this session and hand over to Wendy for the last comments? Okay, what is the duration from medical school?
In most schools is 6 years, but in the Catholic university, you have 7 years.
Okay. Okay, that was an amazing presentation. Once again, Teresa, thank you so much. And we've learned a lot about Mozambique. And Mozambique is a beautiful place, definitely on my bucket list, and I think other people's bucket lists as well, of countries to visit in Southern Africa. Um, right now, I will. Is Juliet here?
Oh yeah, I am.
Yeah, you
Giving
can.
background just
Okay, you
presentation.
can say a few words and then after when we will close the session.
You say it?
I'm saying you can say a few words as we close the session, and then after you, Wendy will close the entire session.
Oh, all right. So thank you again, guys, for joining us in our today's culture exchange series. It looks like every day it's getting interesting. We had to learn some interesting culture from Malawi as well as Mozambique. And Malawi, I learned we have something in common. Um, just before this meeting, I think we were talking with Wendy, and I was telling her about the Ngoni people and the Nchola ceremony. I think Malawi has that too, and that's something we have in common. Even eating shima with fish and all that, we do that as well. In Mozambique, it was a very amazing presentation, especially on the Portuguese part. So I was wondering, there was a time when I was checking through the letters from Mozambique. They were all in Portuguese and I couldn't read them. So I was just like, no, you have to at least send me English. And that's so nice. Portuguese is nice, but I don't know if I will ever learn. But one day we're visiting you guys. Thank you so much, guys, for joining once more. And thank you for those amazing presentations. See you again tomorrow.
Wendy, the floor is yours for the last, I don't know, to close this, or I guess it's okay.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Yami. So first of all, I'd like to thank every single one of you who's been able to make time to join our session today. It's been very, very interesting. It's been an enjoyable tour to Malawi and Mozambique. So for our presenters for today, Teresa and Om, thank you so much for the presentation and for showcasing your countries. It was really beautiful to see. And Yami as well for hosting the session. Sorry, I got muted for a second. But for everyone who's just joining, this is a cultural exchange series that's being hosted by the Southern African region. And yesterday we got to showcase our cultures from Botswana and Zambia. And today we've had Malawi and Botswana, and we'll be having more countries tomorrow. So do log in at the same time for the same. Otherwise, I hope you continue enjoying the sessions and continue learning more about Africa and the cultures and the medical school experience and the health systems. Yeah, so that's basically the main aim of this whole program. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. Have a great evening.
Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Ciao.
We forgot the photo.
Irvin's right, guys. Before you leave,